Here we go. Hey, hey, it's Joycelyn Wells with Joy Exposed. I know it's Thursday. I know it's 6 o'clock. This isn't what I usually do. So I've been asked to go live tonight. I had a special request to go live, and that's what I'm doing right now. So we're going to see how it goes. And I have, for whatever reason, I have this really weird background. I don't know how I did that. And I don't know how to fix it. Well, I won't do it right now. I can fix it later. So it must have been something that I did earlier while I was playing. Um, but I will see if I can take it off. Is there no background? What is it usually? Yeah, I don't like that either. Yeah, no. It's just so crazy. I've never had this happen before. It hasn't been like this the whole time, so I don't know how to take it off. So anyway, let me get started. My name is Joycelyn Wells, and I have a podcast. It's called Joy Exposed, and I have it's on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. And the premise behind the podcast being at night is it's adult talk, right? So we talk about adult topics, and there's some cursing stuff happening. So really no kids involved in the podcast at night. So I was asked to go live today and tomorrow to talk about some subjects that may be a little taboo, sex, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. So first of all, let me just say the way my brain works, and given the topic of when you talk about sex, that really, I've thought about it like all day. I couldn't really think of what exactly to talk about because sex is by far one of my favorite discussions and activities that I can talk about it extremes, right? So I've been kicking it around all day trying to figure out what exactly would I share on my first time doing a Joy Exposed short. And I think I started with the fact that I'll talk about me and sex and what sex means to me and why sex means to me. We'll start from there. So, and on my website, joycelynwells.com, I talk about it a little bit too. But one of the things that I like to remember, or that I like to hold on to, is I've had a very healthy, positive sexual experience my whole life. Like, I haven't had any negative sex. People don't like to believe that because they're thinking that you had to have some negative shit to happen, but I haven't, right? So, and I think it goes back to the fact that I learned about sex on myself, right? So I was able to learn about me through books. I was able to learn about sex in books, how I felt when I read certain passages and words. And we're talking real young, like 9, 10, 11. We're talking very young. And I realized that the books held a secret passion for me. It's like if I could find the passages in the book to trigger those kind of sexual feelings for me, then I was in there, right? So I read a lot, voracious reader, because I was constantly looking for the words. And think of it being so young, 9, 10, 11, they didn't really have any words, but you understood the way that I understood the way that I felt when I read them. And so that's how I kind of started learning about sex, and spent so much time studying it my whole life, in my body, my own self. And so I like to attribute the fact that no, I didn't learn about sex through anybody else. I learned about it from myself. So nobody came along to misuse me, to put me to ill use, to treat me however, to do what they wanted with me, that trial and error. I didn't have that, because by the time I became sexually active, I already knew what I wanted to do. I had read about it, seen it, let's do it. So I always like to think that I have a very positive outlook on sex. So just to give you some background on me and that, why it became such an important topic for me to study, to know about myself and to know about other people. And it brings me so much pleasure. I honestly look forward to, I'll talk about my favorite thing, orgasms. So we'll just spend a few minutes talking about that because a lot of people don't have orgasms. They haven't figured out how to tap into them. They're waiting for somebody else to give it to them. So my question for you is, who's responsible for your orgasm? Tricky question, right? So it's kind of like who's responsible for you eating, right? So who's responsible for your orgasm? You are. So nobody's going to do it for you. This is something that you have to know where it is, know how to find it, know how to move to get the space touch just right, and find these areas of pleasure that get you to the place of orgasm. That's the um, that's the most important thing that you will get to know right there. Is like you once you realize where you are in the orgasm, um, on the spectrum of the orgasms and how you get them, then you definitely will find it. You'll find your space and you'll enjoy it, and you'll find it each time. So I like to talk about that a bit. And so it's really weird because people ask me to talk about sex, and it's such a, I don't know, it's such a wide, like I said, a wide range of information that I have a hard time of knowing exactly what people want to hear. So I'm just going to focus on what I would say on my regular podcast on Wednesday night is you're responsible for your own pleasure. You're responsible for your own orgasm. Nobody is going to, oh no, no one is going to give it to you. And I think I just did something and messed up. So I'm going to have to end this, and then I'll have to come back. I'll share it on my page again. My bad.